Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone, I'm Miss Neny. Today I'd like to discuss about teaching writing from Teaching by Principles by Douglas Brown. The psycholinguist Eric Landberg, 1967, human beings universally learn to walk and to talk, but that swimming and riding are culturally specific learned behaviors. We learn to swim if there is a body of water available and usually only if someone teaches us. Here I'm going to show you research on second language writing. The first one is compassing, and then process and product. And then after that we have intercultural rhetoric and differences between L1 and L2 writing. And then we have also authenticity. Next, we have content and genre-based writing pedagogy, responding to student writing, form-focused feedback, identity, and voice. Okay, now let's discuss from compassing. In compassing, there are three things. They are thinking, drafting, and also revising. Process and product. Hedhog 2005 described that the essence of process writing as one that engages learners in meaningful writing, encourages stages of multiple drafts and revisions, and provides formative feedback through conferencing. Intercultural rhetoric. Kalpan 2005 and Conan 2002 noted that no one can deny the effect of one's native culture or one's predispositions that are the product of perhaps years of schooling, reading, writing, thinking, asserting, arguing, and defending, a concept that became known as constructive rhetoric. And then number 4, we have differences between L1 and L2 writing. Silva, 1993, noted that L2 writers do less planning, are less fluent, less accurate, and less effective in starting goals and organizing materials. 5. We have authenticity. According to Brown, another way to look at the authenticity issue in classroom writing is to distinguish between real writing and display writing. Content and genre-based writing. According to Brown, an excellent way to involve students in more real writing is through content-based instruction, in which writing along with reading plays a central role, and the purposes of writing are embedded into the overall goals of the program. Responding to student writing. Responding to content normally precedes dealing with linguistic issues such as spelling, grammar, and discourse. Form-focused feedback. Give feedback based on the pursuit of writing, not arguing against the student's opinions. Next, we have identity and voice. List 2013, Sung Jin, one of his respondents, struggled to balance his identities as a creative writer on the one hand, and as a student trying to learn academic writing conventions on the other. His fear of losing his creative voice in writing and uneasy made him resistant to follow the norm demanded by his ESL. Everyone, here we have characteristics of written language. A writer's view. First, we have permanence, and then production time, distance, orthography, complexity, vocabulary, and formality. In teaching writing, everyone, we also have micro and macro skills for writing. Micro skills. First, produces a grapheme and orthographic patterns of English. The second one produces writing at an efficient rate of speed to suit the purpose. And then next, produce an acceptable core of words and use appropriate word order patterns. 5. Express a particular meaning in different grammatical forms. And then what about micro skills? Use cohesive devices in written discourse, and then use rhetorical forms and conventions of written discourse. Appropriately accomplish the communicative functions of written text according to form and purpose. Convey links and connections between events and communicate. 10. Distinguish between literal and implied meanings when writing. And then we have correctly convey culturally specific references in the context of written text. Okay, here we have types of classroom writing performance. First, we have imitative or mechanical writing. The second one, we have intensive or controlled writing. And then next, self-writing, and then display writing, and we have also real writing. Principles for teaching writing. For teaching writing, we have incorporate practices of good writers, balanced process and product. And then number 3, account for cultural or literary backgrounds, connect reading and writing, and then provide as much as authentic writing as possible. Design pre-writing, drafting, and revising stages of writing. 7. Strive to offer techniques that are as interactive as possible. Be a facilitator, not a judge, in responding to students' writing. And then explain rhetorical formal conventions of writing. Everyone, here we have assessing writing in the classroom. Evaluation checklist according to Brown. According to Brown, in your evaluation of student writing, the most instructive evaluative feedback you can give is your comments. Writing assessment tasks. Here are types of assessing writing, everyone. The first one, imitative writing. For imitative writing, we have exercises in handwriting letters, words, and punctuations. Typing exercises, copying, listen, and write. So perhaps you can play the audio, and then after that the student listen to the audio, and then they can rewrite the story. Next, completing forms and questionnaires. The second one, we have intensive writing. For intensive writing, here we have a dictation of phrases and simple sentences. Rewrite the story just heard. Okay, so maybe the teacher can read the story first, and then after that the student must rewrite what the story is about. Next, grammatical transformation exercises. Picture description tasks, and then after that use vocabulary in a sentence, and then ordering tasks. Number 3, we have responsive writing. For responsive writing, we can do it by paraphrasing, guided writing, paragraph construction tasks, and then we can also do it by responding to a reading or lecture. And then number 4, we have extensive writing. For extensive writing, we can do easy writing tasks, tasks in types of writing such as narratives, description, or argument. And then tasks in genres of writing, it can be lab report, opinion essay, and research paper. I think that's all of my presentation, everyone. Thank you very much. Do you have any question?
Hi, Miss Neny.
Yes.
So, based on your experience, how to give feedback in writing for young learners? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So, how to give feedback for young learners, especially for writing tasks? Of course, I will check the grammars, I will check the vocabularies, and then the spelling. So, I will check all the language components on the writing.
Okay. Hi, Miss Neny.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. I want to what's that? actually, I don't know. Yeah, is it a question or not? Okay. So, do you still remember what your first academic writing is? Okay, how did you feel that at the time when you wrote your academic writing at that time? Thank you.
Okay, perhaps I can share a little bit about my experience when I did my thesis. So when I did my thesis, my topic was about extensive reading. So at the time I interviewed my college friends. Okay, I asked their opinions about reading. Okay, but to be honest, most of my college friends, they said that actually they didn't like reading, but our in our lesson we must read. Okay, but in the fact, actually most of the students they don't read. So actually they most of my friends they did it, or they read the text or the books not because they like it, but because it's a must or compulsory, like that.
Alright, Miss Neny, I have a questions. Sometimes we ask students to write something long enough, but even though we have given the instruction what to write, they still don't know what to write. So how do the teachers deal with it?
Okay, that's very that's a very good question. Okay, so to solve that problem, we can just we can just give example to the students. So after we finish giving the instruction, but they still don't understand what they have to do, we can give them model or example, like that, and then maybe by giving them example, they finally can understand what we mean, like that. Thank you.
Miss Neny, this is very challenging, yeah, especially for the young learners. Writing is a very challenging task for them, I guess, because in my classes I found difficulties in finding the good way for the writing practices. One of the problems I think is about the vocabulary items that the students master so far. So what do you suggest that we can do in helping the students to to make or to improve their writing skills? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Ms. Yunita. So based on my experience, I always give some vocabularies to my students first. Yeah, example, I give them vocabularies about campsite, so they know what activities that they like to do in campsite. Like example, maybe rowing a boat, or building a tent, or maybe drying the clothes. Yeah. So after I give them the vocabularies, the purpose is when I ask them to make a writing, or when I ask them to write a text or a story, then they know they know what vocabularies that they are going to use. So we have to introduce first to them some vocabularies about the topic. Okay, thank you very much.
Ms. Neny, can you share some writing project that you did in your class that you think worked and you're happy with that?
Okay, so I have ever asked my students to watch a video. Okay, I asked them to watch a video. It's It's like a story. Okay, it's a cartoon, and then when my students enjoyed watching the video, then in a very interesting scene, I stopped the video, and then I asked them to continue. What do you think will happen next? So they make their own story, like that. So after they make the story, Okay, after everyone finish writing the story, or after everyone finish making the ending of the story, then we read the ending of the story, and then after that I play again the video, and then finally they know what happened at the end of the video, like that. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.